I want to start at the beginning for those that maybe lapsed fans or that aren't as familiar with who Harvey Whippleman was. How did you get to be in the business?
Well, I started off putting up the ring when I was 14 years old. I went on a tour with a guy named Dale Mann who run MCW, which was based out of Jamestown, Kentucky. And I put up the ring and took it down for him. And they were making a tour. They went to South Dakota, Iowa, all the way up to Minnesota somewhere. And I just kept on with him. Never even went back home. There was no cell phones, nothing back then. Mom and Dad didn't have no idea where I was. I had to call them a few days later and say, I'm in the wrestling business now. That
It's
was,
like running away to join the circus.
yeah, no doubt. And that was 1979. And hell, I went back yet. I guess I'm still rolling 41 years later, making a living. But I owe my whole career and life to certain people. One of them is Jerry the King Lawler, undoubtedly. He gave me my break in the business and my break in life. I mean, he made me a manager. A lot of people think me and Lawler met here in Memphis because, where I'm at, Mississippi's Memphis area. No,
Sure.
we met in Hawaii because my dear friend Rocky Johnson booked me there for Polynesian Pacific Wrestling. That's where I met Lawler, and he had me manage him that day. And I said, man, I grew up watching you on TV. Man, I want to come to Memphis Wrestling so bad. Well, we got Jimmy Hart now. We've already got Tojo. We can't have three managers. When Hart left, man, I called Lawler 50 times a day. And he finally gave me my starting date in Memphis. And the rest was history. So to this day, my yard is paid for, my house is paid for. It ain't a mansion, but it's mine. I owe all that to Lawler because if he hadn't gave me my break, I don't know what I'd be doing.
How did the union of downtown Bruno and Sid come to be?
In 1986, I was in Kansas City working for Bob Geigel in the NWA. I was working there, managing the Batten Twins, managing the Cuban Assassin, and a guy named Earthquake Ferris. Robert Fuller got in touch with me and said, we want to do Lord Humongous with the hockey
The
mask.
hockey mask, right? The
Outfit,
Mad
everything.
Max, the
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Road Warrior.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He says, Bruno, you'd be the perfect mouthpiece for him. This guy don't speak. And Robert said, do you know a guy that's big and stout and, tall, whatever? I said, yeah, but I'm not sure I know how to reach him. I'll try. So I started making calls around West Memphis. And bear in mind, again, no cell phones back then. This is, 30 whatever years ago. So I finally found out Sid was doing construction for a guy named Bobby Jones. So I called Bobby Jones and I have Sid call me. Me and Sid weren't like even tight back then. We knew each other, but not.
Right.
Anyway, he called me and I told him, hey, how'd you like to go to Alabama and start for Continental as Lord Humongous? Oh man, I'd love to. So me and Sid met in Memphis. We followed each other to Birmingham where we found a little cheap place to stay and went to Continental and stayed there for a while. Then a good friend of mine, Eddie Gilbert, came in, took over the booking duties from Robert Fuller. Well, Eddie brought in a manager to be his manager. Now, don't forget, Eddie was the booker, so he was in charge.
Right.
I was the former booker's manager. So guess who the manager was? Paul E. Dangerously, let alone
Really?
our friend Paul Heyman. So I'd seen the writing on the wall then, I mean, I like Eddie and I love Paul. We're very close. But
Hmm.
at that time, me and Paul were at each other's throat. We were two young managers of the exact same age and whatever, trying to get a good spot in whatever organization we worked with. So I knew my time was limited. So I gave my notice and went back to Memphis. So Sid stayed there. Then when Eddie went to WCW, he took Sid with him and took the mask off him. He was Sid. So that was the rest was history for Sid. And then when they were looking for a manager in WWE, Sid mentioned me. They gave me a tryout. Went to Worcester, had my tryout, and been there ever since.
Tell me what it was like living on the road. WWE's wildly popular at the time, and you're with these truly larger than life characters. You've got Sid. You managed the Warlord. You spent time with Kamala, Giant Gonzalez. Paint me a picture of what life was like in those days.
Well, we were on the road. I remember one time I was on the road for almost 30 days at one whop,
Yeah.
because we'd go to TV. Back then we did TV every 3 weeks. We'd do it 3 days in a row. Wasn't like it is now. Back then we do like 30 matches. So we were there for hours and hours and hours. Then we go out to the house shows and we might go overseas. We might have a Saturday night's main event or something. So, I mean, it was constant. I mean, it wasn't easy. I'll tell you that. But then, we'd go into restaurants or hotels, whatever. Of course, yeah, like you said, Sid, Warlord. Even if you didn't follow the product at the time, you knew they were somebody.
Harvey Whippleman, not necessarily a part of the on-screen end of WWE, anymore, or for quite some time. Yet Bruno's been a constant in the backstage area. I mean, as soon as I started coming to television, I remember, getting to know you, and can you explain to everybody your role nowadays in WWE?
You know what? If I want to stand here and maybe I can go in and put a tie on and a suit, I'll say I'm the concierge of the WWE. But really, I'm the washed up guy that runs errands for everybody. And I jump through hoops for millionaires. And I don't care. I love it. You know what? I love what I do now more than I ever loved managing, wrestling, refereeing. I love what I do now. I enjoy it. We could be in Minneapolis, Minnesota in the middle of the winter. And they say, well, we need a surfboard. We got a guy coming in. We're going to call him the surfer. We need a surfboard. Nobody can find a surfboard. I'll be back. Give me 20 minutes, and I'll be back with a surfboard, and that's what I do. I mean, and I take pride in it. And a lot of small things, too. This top guy, his suitcase got, delayed by the airlines. Would you go to the airport and get it? Sure. This guy forgot something in his hotel room. Go get it. Because, everybody trusts me. I'm happy to do whatever I can for anybody.
Any particular angles on screen that you look back on and have fond memories of?
Well, it was pretty much the greatest thing was when I got to manage Sid against Hogan, main event of WrestleMania. From a guy that started off setting up the ring and going to the Dakotas and whatnot for Dale Mann, standing in the main event, in the ring for the main event for the biggest, attraction there is, WrestleMania.
Sure.
And that's it kind of validates your existence, and like I said, I know I wasn't the main event. I was there. If I didn't show up that day, the show would have went on. I ain't stupid, But just the fact that I was there, and part of that was huge. That was a really big deal to me. And and I know this was goofy, but when I got to dress up like the woman and win the championship for one day,
that was Harvina, correct?
In your hometown of Pittsburgh, actually.
Was that in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. But yeah, sure was. But I mean, I know it was a goofy thing or whatever. But the fact I can tell people to this day without lying, I was a champion in the WWE. And,
that's true.
A lot of people can't say that. So
right. What is the art of the promo for a great manager? You mentioned tearing someone down and building them up. Talk a little bit more about that.
Well, the one thing is get the people's attention. All right. Build it up like, Corey Graves, just because you got a head shaped like a hubcap don't mean you're a big wheel around here. Let me tell you something, brother. I'll get you in the ring. I promise you, I'm going to hit you with so many rights, you'll be begging for a left, man. I'll hit you with so many combinations, man, you're going to think you're a safe. Because I am the man that walked that barbed wire fence barefooted. Been bad, been good, Dallas, Vegas, and Hollywood, 168 pounds of walking, talking, roping, stomping, downtown destruction. Brother, when I get through with you, it's going to be a family weeping, a mama crying, a graveyard digging, and a coffin buying. You know why, Corey Graves? Because it's like mama says, it bees that way sometimes.
That was tremendous. Just turn it on like that. You still got it, Bruno. That's fantastic.
I wish my voice still had it.
Like what you hear? Catch full episodes of After the Bell on Spotify. Follow us now and never miss an episode.